Imagine a scenario where one of the greatest predators of prehistory, the dire wolf, returns to Earth. What would happen if this animal, extinct for thousands of years, came back to life? This is a premise that many scientists are currently exploring, using the most advanced biotechnology and genetic technologies. In today's video, we will understand what science is doing to bring back extinct animals and explore the potential impacts of this resurrection, which seems straight out of a science fiction movie. Over 10,000 years ago, the dire wolf, also known as Canis dirus, roamed the vast plains of North America, an imposing animal with powerful jaws and capable of hunting large prey. Although it went extinct at the end of the Pleistocene, this predator still sparks interest, especially because it may be possible to bring it back to life. And how could this happen? The key to this lies in modern biotechnology, especially gene editing tools like CRISPR. CRISPR is a technology that allows scientists to edit DNA with unprecedented precision. It's like a text editing software, but for genetic code. Instead of altering words, scientists can adjust the fundamental building blocks of life, recreating or altering the characteristics of living organisms. Now, imagine taking a modern wolf and applying dire wolf genes, mixing the two species in a controlled way, creating a hybrid that resembles the original dire wolf. But there's more to this process than just genetic editing. To achieve this feat, scientists rely on well-preserved genetic material, such as DNA fragments found in fossils or even frozen mammals in permafrost, like the woolly mammoth. While DNA from extinct species degrades over time, it is possible to find fragments that, when combined with DNA from related species, can provide the foundation for recreating a creature similar to the original. This process of resurrection of species, or de-extinction, is highly complex and, in many cases, full of uncertainties. Scientists are attempting to restore the genetics of mammoths, for example, using DNA found in frozen remains and mixing it with the DNA of modern elephants. The goal? To bring back the mammoth and reintroduce it into its original habitat, helping to restore ecosystems that were altered by the disappearance of the species. But if we're talking about resurrecting the dire wolf, we need to understand the context in which it lived. During the Pleistocene era, the dire wolf wasn't just a predator, but also part of a complex ecosystem. Its return wouldn't be just a matter of bringing an animal back to life. It would be an attempt to restore a lost ecological function. The dire wolf played a crucial role in controlling prey populations, regulating the ecological dynamic. If science succeeds in bringing back the dire wolf or any other extinct species, there will be many challenges, starting with the question of how these species would adapt to a world that has drastically changed since their extinction. Ecosystems are no longer the same as they were thousands of years ago. What would it mean for modern fauna and flora to have a large predator returning to the game? Would there be a chance that the dire wolf could become a threat to other species, or even to humans? Moreover, we must question the impact that the resurrection of extinct species could have on current biodiversity. Would a reintroduced species compete with existing species for resources, or worse, become a threat to the very survival of animals dependent on current ecosystems? So, science must weigh the benefits and risks of reintroducing these animals. Despite these challenges, the idea of resurrecting extinct species is fascinating and is not limited to the dire wolf. Imagine bringing back the woolly mammoth. For instance, its presence could help restore the Arctic tundra, an area of great importance for regulating the planet's climate. These large creatures could help prevent the spread of shrubs and trees that have altered the tundra landscape, allowing the frozen soil to continue absorbing carbon and helping to mitigate the effects of climate change. Another important point about de-extinction is the ethics involved. To what extent should we allow science to tamper with the natural balance? If we can resurrect an animal, should we do it? And what is the purpose of that? If it is to benefit the environment, does that justify the risks? There are arguments for allowing these species to remain extinct because their resurrection might interfere with the natural course of evolution. The morality of this practice continues to be debated by scientists, philosophers, and environmentalists. Although the idea of resurrecting extinct species may seem like science fiction, science is closer than ever to making a reality. Advances in gene editing technologies like CRISPR are opening doors to new possibilities that were once unimaginable. Today, scientists are beginning to explore the viability of bringing back animals like the woolly mammoth and even the dire wolf. With new DNA editing tools like CRISPR, it is now possible to edit the genetic code of living organisms precisely and efficiently. Scientists have been studying ways to rebuild the DNA of extinct species from fragments preserved in fossils and frozen remains. In the case of the dire wolf, we could use the DNA of modern wolves, combining it with the genetic material of the dire wolf, to create an animal similar to the original species. But can we trust biotechnology to solve such complex problems? Scientists are starting to see a future where extinct species not only return to life, but also play crucial roles in restoring ecosystems and understanding our own evolutionary history. However, this future is far from clear. There are significant ethical and environmental challenges that we still need to consider. How do we control a reintroduced species that no longer belongs in our ecosystem? What will be the impact of its interactions with current animals and plants? Can we ensure these animals won't become a threat? As science advances, we need to ponder the unforeseen consequences. What happens when we play God and try to fix past mistakes? Where's the line between progress and immeasurable risks? The future of resurrecting extinct species is still full of uncertainties, but it is undeniable that science is moving toward making the impossible possible. And as this happens, we must reflect on the implications of this scientific revolution. Would it be our best chance to restore natural balance, or a risky attempt to manipulate the course of evolution? The only certainty is that the coming decades will be decisive in shaping the future of biodiversity and life on Earth. Now, in a world of rapidly accelerating climate change, where animal and plant populations are threatened by deforestation, pollution, and habitat loss, efforts to reverse extinctions may be a way to bring balance back. But can restoring a species really save an entire ecosystem? Or does the solution need to be more complex, involving a whole network of actions aimed at preserving habitats, reducing carbon emissions, and regenerating forests and oceans? The dire wolf, the mammoth, and other extinct species may become symbols of our fight against environmental destruction. Science offers an optimistic perspective, but we also need to consider the long-term implications of these technologies. The real question is, by trying to correct the past, are we just creating more problems for the future? What can we expect from the future of extinct species? Will we see more animals brought back to life? Or are we just beginning to realize the limits of the scientific ambition? The return of the dire wolf, the mammoth, and other creatures from the past may become a reality. But are we ready to deal with the impact it will have on our world? Biotechnology has opened doors to incredible possibilities, but the real responsibility will lie in how scientists and society deal with the consequences of these actions. Can we restore a lost natural balance, or are we creating something new that may no longer be compatible with today's ecosystem? So, what do you think? Should we bring extinct species like the dire wolf back to life, or are we crossing a line we shouldn't? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's into science and the mysteries of the past. See you in the next one.